I'm going to turn the heat up.
For our relationship expert, yeah. I don't know if we're downshifting or shifting into high gear. How many times do married couples have sex?
Yeah, here's another one for you. What really turns a woman on?
Okay, and why do men cheat?
Why do men cheat?
You know why they cheat?
I think they just want to feel a sense that they still have it. And if they can get another woman, they have it. That's what I think.
I think that men cheat because their girl's not giving them enough goods, so they decide to go to somebody else.
To be honest, I feel like it's an insecurity issue with the man.
Now, let me clarify. Men, you say, why do men cheat? A particular man cheats, right? So it's not men.
We're not bashing on all men today.
Mike
Some
Lindstrom,
women cheat too.
a relationship expert, is hosting an annual Taboo event where you can ask just about anything, right?
Anything, wide
okay,
open.
So
things that
give
we'd
us
be
the
too
answer.
embarrassed to bring up.
Yeah.
Why does a particular man cheat?
Well, we have this thing called the line. So a man always wants to be able to walk up to the line. Now, whether he's going to walk over and step over that line is totally different. But what the gentleman said there in that interview is true. A man wants to know that he can still have it. It's reaffirming of his ego. And it's mostly for physical reasons, not emotional. Women cheat for emotional reasons. Men cheat for physical reasons.
How does a woman make sure, though, that she's able to meet or help her man make sure he doesn't need to have that need met somewhere else?
And that's a great question. That's probably one of the top subjects that comes up in the Taboo event. It's called sexpectations. You have to have the conversation around your expectations around sex. Dan and I happen to call it sexpectations. It's our term. But it's having the conversation around how often do you want it? What are your turn-ons? What are your turn-offs in a relationship? In our events, most married couples, we ask by show of hands, how many people talk about this stuff? They don't. So that's an important topic to have.
It's such a huge topic of conversation.
It's number
but
one.
It's almost like we need permission to have that conversation.
Well, it's uncomfortable. I mean, you're not taught that. Your dad doesn't sit there on, when you're 9 years old and saying, hey, son, here's how you have a conversation when you're married. But you have to have the conversation.
That's right after the birds and bees conversation. Right. And this is how you have it, right?
But that's what the Taboo event is meant to do, is to get a couple. We want every couple, driving home going, hey, is that true? Is that, what he said, is that true? Well, what about us?
And you want them to feel like they can actually answer the question honestly.
And we facilitate that through our panel more through a conversation. It's not a seminar, it's just, let's just talk. Let's just throw it on the table.
So here's another thing that has come up, I'm sure, recently. You're talking social media. You're talking Facebook, Twitter, where the whole purpose is to socialize and interact with people. But that doesn't always sit well with people.
And you know what? That's what actually some of the most recent studies that we've seen this past year, 2000. Facebook and social media has been the #1 contributor to violations in a relationship, cheating, debate, fighting, etc. Because you're friends with your exes, or you see a message. The stories we've heard, I mean, I'm sure you've probably heard this before, it will blow your mind, but you got to have the conversation.
Sure.
Are you comfortable with me being, friends with my ex-girlfriend on Facebook? Yes or no? Let's talk about it.
You also talk about setting rules around money and spending and budgeting, which is imperative if you want a relationship to last.
What's kind of funny, because that's the thing a lot of people don't expect to come up in the meeting, but that's probably right there behind the expectations is the financial conversation.
Sure.
The budgets and goals and things of that nature.
The interesting thing about this whole event that's taking place, it's actually a panel of people.
Right.
So you have men talking about the same thing that women are, and then they go at it.
So what I decided to do is I went and recruited my friends, Fawn Chang, local fashionista here in Phoenix, obviously a guest of Channel 3, Michael D., publisher of Arizona Foothills Magazine, Our Happiest Hour, who throws these events, and we took Nikki Waller. She's awesome. So bringing moms and men and women to sit down and talk about this in a friendly way, but yet bring out these hot issues.
Yeah.
It's not. You can't go up there as one man and espouse what you think or what your research says. You got to get the men and women up there and talk about it.
Sure, we all come from different walks.
Plus, you give them a couple cocktails and things start to change.
Yeah.
The interaction
The tongue starts loosening up. There you go.
It does.
Well, Mike Lindstrom, thank you very much. The event is at the Wrigley Mansion.
Wrigley Mansion.
This Friday night. What time?
6:30 to 9:30.
Okay.
And ourhappiesthour.com is where you can get your tickets.
All right, we'll put a link on.
And come ready to fight. Come ready. Come on, man. You gotta make us look good out there.
Come on.
All right. Thank you very much. We will be right.
You know, Javier, we were talking with Mike Lindstrom earlier, and one of the questions was about sex and how often it happens during a marriage. What's normal?
Right.
And we didn't answer the question.
Well,
what's normal? How
okay.
often should we be having sex, and how often are married couples
And by the
having
way,
sex?
people who have sex more often are healthier. So,
Okay.
number one, there's a health plug there for men and women. So, men want it 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Women want it 1.5 times a week.
And you say women want to tie it all to romance.
Correct.
Okay.
And men don't care.
Okay.
5 minutes is good. Just get in and out and be done. That's how they are. But here's the thing. With the sex conversation, it's having the conversation around what you expect with each other, not just the sex itself. But if you look at the national studies, people are not having enough sex, bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, tell them the number.
So the average couple, that was a question I didn't clarify. The average couple is having sex 3.5 times a month.
When men want it 3 times a week and women want it 1.5 times a week.
Yeah, so think about that. I mean, men are the ones that are more displeased, if you will, if you think about the numbers from a statistics perspective.
Yeah, but if everybody wants it and it's only happening 3 times a month, then everybody's upset.
Correct.
All right, we need to fix this, people.
Taboo and come hear about it.
It's happening this Friday night at the Wrigley Mansion. Thanks for your
Thanks
time.
so much.
We'll see you
Absolutely.
guys tomorrow, Dr.